getting benefit. And day by day, the percentage is aggravating. And this is a very positive growth. Thank you.
গুরুজন হওয়ার প্রেক্ষিতে দুটো একটা কথা বলি শোনো। এক নম্বর হচ্ছে বোলপুর ডিস্ট্রিক্ট আর ঝাড়গ্রাম ডিস্ট্রিক্ট, এর মধ্যে কিন্তু শহর আর গ্রামের একটা ডেমোগ্রাফিক ভাগ আছে। সেটা কি হয়েছে আমরা তোমার স্যাম্পল থেকে কিন্তু বুঝলাম না, পরে নিশ্চয়ই এটা বড় কাজে যাবে। ওয়ান দ্যাট। সেকেন্ড হচ্ছে যে বোলপুর আর ঝাড়গ্রাম এক স্যাম্পলে ট্রিট করা যায় কি? মানে বোলপুরের একটা ভীষণভাবে বিশ্বভারতী রাবীন্দ্রিক ব্যাকগ্রাউন্ড রয়েছে, যার জন্য ওখানকার সিনারিও কিন্তু ডিফারেন্ট হলেও হতে পারে। মানে আই উড সে রাদার ইউ ব্রেক দ্য স্যাম্পল। আর নাম্বার 3, এটা মানে এই এরারটা প্লিজ করো না, আর কোনো কেস স্টাডিতে কারোর নাম দিও না প্লিজ, কারোর নাম কখনো না। তুমি দেখবে ডিজিটাল মিডিয়াতে এরকম ধরনের কন্টেন্টে মুখটা ব্লার করে দেয়, নাম আইডেন্টিটি ব্লার করে দেয়, তুমি এটা করবে না কখনো। ওকে, থ্যাংক ইউ।
আমার এই পরিপ্রেক্ষিতে কথা বলতে চাই ম্যাম, আমি ঝাড়গ্রামেও গেছি যখন, ঝাড়গ্রামে বোলপুরের সিচুয়েশনটা অনেক বেশি অ্যাডভান্স দ্যান ঝাড়গ্রাম বিকজ অফ দ্য বিশ্বভারতী এফেক্ট। কিন্তু ঝাড়গ্রামে হচ্ছে আমরা ভাবি যে ব্যাকওয়ার্ড ক্লাস, ওরা যে, বাট আমি বললাম না ডিফারেন্ট গভর্নমেন্টাল প্রজেক্টের জন্য, মানে তাদের যারা যেমন মারা যেমন লক্ষ্মী ভান্ডার পাচ্ছে, ওরাও কিন্তু ডিফারেন্ট স্কলারশিপ পাচ্ছে, এবং এসসি বা এসটি ক্যাটাগরিতে কিন্তু আরো বেশি বেনিফিশিয়াল, মানে টাকাটা আরো বেশি পাচ্ছে। তার কারণে স্মার্টফোন, গ্যাজেট, ল্যাপটপ ওদের কাছে আছে, ইন্টারনেট অ্যাক্সেস করতে পারছে না, সে কারণের জন্য। আর নামগুলো হচ্ছে ফিকটিশিয়াস। আচ্ছা আচ্ছা, ঠিক আছে ঠিক আছে ম্যাম। No, I didn't use the name. Thank you.
যে সেটা হচ্ছে যে মানে কেস স্টাডিতে নাম দেওয়া, মানে আমরা যখন থিসিস লিখি কেস স্টাডিতে তো নাম দিই,
সেকেন্ড রো,
মানে কেস স্টাডি ইন দ্য সেন্স যে ধরো আমি যে রিসার্চ মেথডোলজি ইউজ করেছি সেখানে অথেন্টিকেশন অফ ডেটা একটা ব্যাপার থাকে। তো আচ্ছা, পাবলিক ফোরামে তুমি বলছো যে ইউজ করতে পারো। ওকে, ঠিক আছে, নোটেড, একদম ওকে, নোটেড। হ্যাঁ, তোমাকে এনওসি নো অবজেকশন নিতে হবে
না, আমি ফিকটিশিয়াস এর লেখাটা উচিত ছিল, ওটাটা
লিখবে। আর যদি তুমি পাবলিকেশনে তার নাম ব্যবহার করো তাহলে তোমাকে তার এথনিক পারমিশন নিতে হবে, না হলে তুমি যেতে পারো না। এটা
ঠিক আছে, থ্যাংক ইউ ফর দ্য ইনফরমেশন। আমি বোলপুর আর অ্যাপ্লিকেশন, কিন্তু আমি বোলপুরের, হ্যাঁ বীরভূম ডিস্ট্রিক্ট বোলপুরটাকে পকেট হিসেবে, ট্রাইবাল পকেট হিসেবে কাজ করছি।
Now we welcome our next speaker, Partho Sharti Sarkar, to present his paper.
Hello, good afternoon. And after a long day, and we all are much tired, and really I was much sorry for my behavior, but I was much in a helpless condition. That what is going on in this seminar? From this very beginning, I am facing a lot of issues, and for that I had also take control of myself, but I could not. So for that I am really sorry. And with that, I just like to start my 253rd presentation. And I am the founder director of the Royal Publication, and alongside I am a scholar in the Tripura University. And I just like to share a view regarding the Maoist region tribes and the continuance of truth when it is directly related with the electronic media. You know that media has a great role in our present day society. And from the Britishers' time, by the James Augustus Leakey to the present day Anandabhajan or the allied newspapers, we are always trying to rid ourselves and our society from the published journals or published newspapers or public, the magazines, and many things are there. But what is the condition of the electronic media. Then the question comes that what is the electronic media? In the digital age, when the world is totally globalized, and after especially the LPG in India in the 1990s decade, that India has seen a lot of changes, and it has made a basic agenda in our current society that the electronic or the digital media should come forward. And even Anandabhaja or the Hindu, the newspapers have their websites, the e-newspapers, we can say. And when we are just considering the published media with the electronic media, then the basic question comes that is it kind of journalism? Because to maintain a good website, there is a cost. From the making to the continuing, there is a cost. So, if the persons, that India is still not that much educated, the literacy is increasing year to year, even in the 2011, we have seen that Indian literacy is increasing. But what is the condition in 2021? We have made a point that there was a corona, and from that 2021, it is 2026. In the last 5 years, there is no census, nothing. So there is no record at all how the literacy is happening in this present day Indian society. So there is a question. The newspapers which are published in the electronic form are really accessible by the common citizenry of this nation or not? Then comes the point. Listen. That beauty is truth and truth beauty. And even it may be you have used in the poetry form, but it is the condition of the every newspaper, because the basic motivation of every newspaper which has to be is the truth, because truth is the beauty. Shatam Shivam Sundaram. Until you are clearing the reality, till then there is no perfection in the society. And the responsibility is totally about the fourth pillar of the Indian democracy. It's the newspapers, the press, and all the the avenues which are publishing day-to-day news. Next slide. And from that perspective, I have tried to see what is the condition of present-day India. You know that in the year 2007, there was Maoist affected places much more than the year 2024. In the last 17 years, we have seen the Maoist activities are much reduced. You know that we have killed Kishanji, and many persons have been killed. And some persons have changed their avenues, and they have tried to come in the the regular lives. But what is the condition of the most vulnerable tribal places? In the year 2024 also, you can see Jharkhand, some parts of West Bengal, Chhattisgarh, Odisha, Madhya Pradesh, Telangana, all the states are much affected by the Maoist movements. But who are the Maoist people? Why they are making this kind of struggles and they are revolving? Why? Because everything has a why. Until you are getting the why in your mind, till then you can't give any solution or you can't make any change in the society. In the previous presentation, my question was, bhabte hobe. I am presenting a paper. Very good. We all are in academics, so we every day practice the presentations. But have you ever thought why we are presenting and how we can say our thoughts? Hardly we have done that. We have already presented a lot of papers, but we have not thought in ourselves why we are presenting. And that is a condition in the Indian democracy as well. They are making a lot of plans, a lot of programs, a lot of things, from the district administration to the central administration to the block level administration, a lot. Yeah. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. So there is a condition that administration is working, but for whom? only for the leaders. If you are just going to a place, then you see the leaders are the VIP, the cinema artists are the VIP, and nowadays the Facebook video makers are the VIP. But what is about the democracy? There is nothing to say or to hear the common citizens of this nation. And it is a condition of this nation to say that it is the largest democracy. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. So, I have to see which are the tribal problems. And from this slide, I am not saying much because time is very short now. From the resource scarcity to the migration and displacement, tribals are getting all those problems. And still they are living in this type of condition, which are very, very premature in the society. It may have changed some kind of scenarios, but not the practicality. They are living still in the hearts. They are living with very, very low income and low security. So the security is really not possible to help them. Next slide, please. So, unjustified effort of solution. We have tried, we have made, we have said a lot of things, and we have evidence in that we have tried for the tribals, but those sales are really, really unjustified. And we are the reason why Maoist people are coming. Just a few minutes ago, we have seen that I was much aggravated. Well, there was some reason. Next slide, please. You know, the Hindu newspaper to the New Indian Express in the year 2025 is saying that we have taken control on the Bastar and we are much developing it. But have you ever asked them what kind of development those people are asking from their lives and from the government? Never. Amesh Rahoji is a very, very elite person, privileged person, and all the officers are. So if they are making Bastar development, then is there any kind of any situation or any truth that the real development is happening? No. Next slide, please. So role of the electronic media in this situation. Television news channels, Shark Time, you know, a news channel is there, just 7, and all the political leaders are coming. And they are saying about the common people. But no common people is ever coming to that platform. Then digital news portals and social media. Facebook is a very, very effective media now, and all the activities are being criticized by the government. And a professor from the Jalapur University was arrested because he was shared a cartoon. That is the condition. Then shaping public perception. How can it be possible? Next slide, please. So dominant media frames by the authority of the government, the leaders, the bureaucrats. Nothing else. Next slide, please. And Narendra Modi ji is telling, I dream of a digital India where government proactively engages with the people through social media. Not the people proactively is engaging with the government, but the government is engaging. That means government is authoritative. People are not. But Indian Constitution is saying we are for the people, of the people, and by the people. So the Indian constitutionality is changing its position in a way, direct or indirect. Next slide. So tribes are passive subjects now. Government has told we have done a lot of things in the last 8 years around, but it is the current situation. Next slide, please. So state-centric narratives are there, and those narratives which are coming in the newspapers, in the electronic, the most modernized form, in the post-modernist age, is not helping at all the Dutch-throated, the backwarded people. So it is the situation. Next slide, please. So loss of historical context, we are losing our heritage, our folks, and we are saying it is a mercantile age. So if there is a loss, there is a loss. But there is a word like cultural preservation. Who should take care of that? As the professors, we are telling that if our culture is lost, there is loss. Are we doing good? Next slide, please. So fragmentation of truth is happening. And that is the most vital and most problematic condition to make the society much backward. Next slide, please. Tribal resistance and tribal resistance is coming in the name of the Maoist and even a JLU professor is named as Maoist because he or she is protesting. So the protesters are the Maoists. It is the situation. Next slide, please. So epistemic violence in media.
Hello.
Media is sharing the violence which has been made by the government. Next slide, please. So potential electronic media, democratization of voices should be there, wide reach and immediacy. Everyone should get the news from the digital media. And then only the possibility of inclusive storytelling will be possible. Next slide, please. Alternative electronic media should come in this situation because that thing which was the duty of the government, media houses are not at all much possible. So the community, the ham radio, the independent digital journalism and activist documentaries should be there. Next slide, please. So tries as narrating subjects, ecological knowledge to write economic, cultural narratives to community empowerment. Everything can be traced if we are tracing and making subjectifying about the tribes, but we are not. Rather, we are much, feeling proud about our knowledge and all the things, but we are not doing anything for the tribes. So we are not doing anything for the country. Next slide, please. So pathways to ethical media practices. Everywhere, the holistic nature is to be said, and if it has to be done in the society, then only from the ecological to the economical to the cultural, all the holistic kind of development would be possible. Next slide, please. So preserving the continuous of truth is needed, and it has every chance to be possible, but we have to be with that kind of mindset. Next slide, please. So conclusion, the imperative ethical representation, it is our need, it is our duty, it is our responsibility, and it should be our work to be much ethical. Just not to be like we are very big, we are very thick, various kind of things are coming, but the real health is not happening in the society. Next slide, please. So here are my references.
Next slide, please.
Next slide, please. Way forward, we have to do a lot of things. We have to shape the society in a more newer way, and then only from the indigenous knowledge systems, which are must shout down to the participatory development, and a holistic society can be possible. Next slide, please. Thank you.
গুড পেপার পার্থসারথী। আমার দুটো কোয়েশ্চেন, একটা হচ্ছে ওই যে ইন্ডিয়ার ম্যাপটা ছিল ওটা ডেটা সোর্সটা কি ছিল? সেকেন্ড স্লাইডটা বলো একটু সেকেন্ড স্লাইডটা
কারণ আছে তার দেখুন রেফারেন্স আছে আলাদা
ওটা আল জাজিরার করা
ইন্ডিয়ান গভর্নমেন্টের থেকে ওরা হেল্প পেয়ে নিয়েছে কিন্তু ম্যাপটা তৈরি করে আল জাজিরা
আল জাজিরা
লিস্টটা দেখুন
লিস্টটা সেকেন্ড এটা সেকেন্ড স্লাইডটা না যাইনি এখন
লেখা রয়েছে AJ Labs
আল জাজিরা হ্যাঁ
মিনিস্টার অফ হোম অ্যাফেয়ার্স ইন্ডিয়া মে 2020
হ্যাঁ
পরে এডিশন করা হয়েছে
আর মানে এই পয়েন্টটা খুব ইন্টারেস্টিং যে ইয়েলো জার্নালিজম মানে কস্ট অফ মেইনটেইনিং ইলেকট্রনিক মিডিয়া এতটাই হাই যে আমি যেটা বেশি সেলেবল আমি সেটাই দেবো বিকজ আই হ্যাভ আ মার্কেট টু ক্যাটার আই এম নট রিপ্রেজেন্টিং ফ্যাক্টস
তো সেখান থেকে টোটালটা আমি যে পড়তা পেয়েছি ওটা সেমই যে এই যে ডিজিটাল মিডিয়াগুলো এখন বিভিন্ন হাউস আছে আমাদের সবাই বুঝছে কোথায় গেল বাট আলটিমেটলি তার মধ্যে ব্ল্যাক মানি বা কিছু এই ধরনের টাকা কিন্তু আছে
না ও খাবে খেলো তো আছে একটু খেলে তুমি
Now, I would like to invite our departmental professor, Dr. Jyoti Datta, to kindly share this presentation. It's an honor and absolute privilege to represent myself in my department and in this presentation, national seminar. My topic is inclusive or exclusive, an analysis of tribal development of Jadwas in Andaman. Okay. So, as we know, Andaman and Nicobar Island, it is a Yeah, next slide. It is a mutual studying of ethnography and anthropology between the group, which is an island which is divided into 5 groups. Okay, that is the PVTG, particularly vulnerable tribal groups of Andaman, and they have been classified and reclassified into lazy Ongis, shy champaigns, hostile centenaries for friendly Charwas, and the spoiled great Andamanis. Now I would like to tell you that I had the honor to visit this place and collect data from them was not possible, but I had the opportunity to spot Jarwas in my trip. So I've noticed the changes, and that's why I have analyzed, I have selected this paper. So according to the census 2011, the Jarwas were recorded as 380. They live in the middle Andaman, and they have the largest population over there, and they are the first human migration out of Africa. It is noted. Next slide. The objectives of the study is to study the electoral inclusion of Jarwa tribe is a progress or a peril of the Andaman and Nicobar Island while raising the concern about their potential of forced assimilation and the preservation of their and unique culture. This paper attempts to comprehend. Does the Jarwas meet the development? Next slide. The methodology of these studies are basically qualitative analysis because, as you know, I have mentioned that data were collected that Jarwas are the vulnerable and the protected tribes, and it is with limited access. Secondary data from newspapers serve as a primary source for the study. Okay. Next slide. What is the idea of development? The idea of development is deeply contested, complex and controversial issue with opinion shifting for exclusive protection of their autonomy, inclusive minimum voluntary access to modern benefits. Okay. However, the exodus from the wider world has urbanized the islanders and encroached on the indigenous people of lands and thereby threatening the Andaman and Nicobar Island integrity. The media used for these communications were generally traditional understanding because direct contacts were not made. Using visual aid and direct friendly interaction were established to explain the significance of election and their role of governance without disrupting their culture. Using direct engagement at their hamlet to build a gap between within the traditional style and democratic process. Next slide. What is the recent, why the paper is being selected and why the topic is that there were inclusion of the 19 members of the Jarwa tribe in the special summary revisions of 2025 in the election process. It's a historic step as it's the first time the member of this tribe has come forward in the electoral process. Previously, it is known that prior to Jarwa, Ongis, Champaigns and Great Nicobar tribes were also part of the election process. In 2019, Ongis took part in the Lok Sabha poll and Champaigns in 2024. What are the next findings? What are the findings of my studies? The findings are the protection of the Aboriginal tribe regulated in the 1956 has helped them stay healthy and protected their culture. Bringing them into political process may upset the fragile balance. According to United Nations Declaration of the Rights of Indigenous People, communities have the right to self-determination and preservation of their way of life. Entry of the Jarwas into the electoral process may voluntarily inform with clear communication of what the participation entails. And it is being also raised that raising concern about their forced assimilation and preservation of their and unique culture. Next slide. As you can read the slides, it has been mentioned and it is founding that bringing Jarwa tribe into the mainstream, removing a protective buffer zone around their reserve, building a tow bridge along the illegal Andaman Trunk Road, that is ATR, all of which would be devastating for the welfare of the Andaman Jarwas. It is also that they were treated as human safaris. The tourists are encouraged to spot them and they are taken in a convoy. There are 2 convoys that run from Port Blair to Baratang Island. In between, they come across, and if you spot them, it's a luck, it's sheer luck. But generally, you can find them in the morning hours. The convoy start at 3 a.m. and the next convoy start at 7 a.m. And during the process, you can spot them. And what are the changes that you can see? They are basically next slide. The tale of lesson learned from other indigenous communities that they are losing their way of life, economic autonomy, cultural identity through integration of one lesson to heal. Jarwas can see profound and perhaps irreversible effect ranging from dependency on external resources to cultural shift with increased contact with the modern people. Next slide. Is it a progress or present Andaman Adim Janjati Vikas Committee, an NGO run by the Andaman administration, took up the responsibility for the welfare of the aboriginals in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Jarwa protected police have been posted around the reserve to check the poaching and other illegal activities inside the JR. The reports now indicate that they have exploited Jarwas are not only confined to poaching but also the people of the tribes are sexually exploited and they are introduced to drugs, and especially they are encouraged with the use of tobacco. Now, next slide. The involvement of the Jarwas in election process also poses a serious threat to the political manipulation are all the more risk. Politicizing may innocently even open greater avenues for further exploitation of their ground and natural resources. As I said, that if you cross the Baratang Island, if you on the go, there is a bridge that is the Middle Andaman, and they are located in a particular genre. And over there, if you go cross it, it's full of natural resources. And once you cross that island, you will be spotting natural limestone caves. So encroaching and going through the path is an exploitation of the natural resources. Okay. Now the recent the BJP Vishnu Pada Rai, the MP over there, he promised to bring Jarwas into the mainstream and if he get re-elected. The policy review is entirely unaccepted by the international community. Even our President Draupadi Murmu has recently condemned that forcible assimilation of the tribe had led to disappearance of the entire tribe. Now next slide. What are my observations? The policy of mainstreaming tribe has a devastating consequences in the past and has been particularly destructive for the Jarwas neighboring tribe. There has been incidents of, and there are reports like that Great Andamanis has been disseminated by attempt to settle down. Only 50 trees have been remaining now. The survival director Stephen Corey remarked that the Vishnupada Ray scandalous proposal to show utter contempt of the Jarwa survival attempt to force the Jarwas into intrigued and will destroy them. My next slide, please. The increased contact with the world outside has a record of reckoning havoc among the indigenous community, which happened in the Great Andamans, which now remain only 53, whose population now dwindling due to the increase of diseases among them and loss of cultural identity post contact with outsiders. Such prospect does the Jarwa pose before them. Vulnerability of the disease, which initially were manifested in the outbreak, were seen along with the increased contact and even pose a threat to them. Without strict safeguard, without their absorption into the regular democratic process, they may export to uncustomized influence, possibly hastening their cultural shift towards assimilation. Next, this is the slide which actively shows that they are encouraged to wear modern clothes. Even the clothes are given by the government of the central government. They are giving them clothes, and they are now introduced to wear regular clothes. When I spotted, I did not find any women, but I found 2 men, even not only one. While the go I went, I found 2, 3, and while returning I found them. Generally their tradition is that they wear clothes like this, but the band they wear in their forehead is very much prominent. And the band is very much prominent in both in the male and the female. Even in the next photo, they are seen that they are wearing modern clothes. But what is found through the study is that if they are introduced to the electoral process and if they are introduced to modern lifestyle, they are not vaccinated, they are not accustomed with the modern technologies that we use, and they may be vulnerable and their population may dwindle very soon. This was my study. Thank you.
Can I ask a question? You are working on the particular populations of the local communities.
See, this is my paper. Okay, I had the opportunity to visit Andaman and Nicobar Island. I visited them. I found their problem. problems. And when I found the news of them getting enrolled in the electoral process, I found this is a very much relevant with the paper of the topic today.
Of course, but my point of view is different. I'm talking about the particular case where the government is going to launch 6 distinct projects over there.
Yes.
In the compensating in case of the environment, the natural resources as we talked
Yes,
about.
yes, yes.
So what is on the stake right now? I mean, is it going on further or is it to be stopped by the
As you know, the tribals should be left out to live as they are.
Of course.
And it is an encroachment or inviting them with the modern technologies or engaging them with lot of modern tools and amenities will definitely endanger them, and their population will also dwindle. So my point of the study was that the convoy is strictly restricted, photography was not allowed, okay, videography is not encouraged, but what was found is that during the national forest, when you cross that stream, there are satellite communication. You once, not even for once, you will lose your mobile network connectivity. So yes, network connections are there, towers are there, and when the people, the local people, the mainstream people, they are not the islanders or not the tribal, they are walking over there. They are what do I say? They are introducing the Jarwas with tricks of like I told you, drugs. Like I told you about the tobacco, and they are also enjoying, and they are somewhat they are treating as humans as human safaris. So this is the point. I hope my paper was fine. I asked the fellow colleagues to come forward with questions.
Yeah, the paper was fine. Like আমার একটা জিনিস মনে হলো কি যে এরা তো 2025 রোলে ওদের ভোটে নাম উঠেছে, পরের ভোটটায় ওরা ভোট দেবে, তো 19 জন ভোট দেবে, তাহলে ওদেরকে ওখানে তো একটা কোনো ইলেকটোরাল প্রচার হবে।
একদম, ওটা হচ্ছে ডিরেক্ট হচ্ছে, মানে আমরা যেরকম প্রচার হচ্ছে ওদের হচ্ছে, আমি এটা মেনশন করছিলাম যে ওদেরকে ভিজুয়াল এড দিয়ে বা ওদেরকে কোনো ব্রাইস দিয়ে, ওদেরকে জামা প্যান্টের লোক দিয়ে ওদেরকে বলা হচ্ছে যে তোমাদেরকে ফুড দেবে, রেশন। এন্ড one more thing I must highlight, they are given by the government of India, they are given ration in the case like wheat or rice, sacks are given and they are taken into their huts and they cook themselves, but they are not so much hostile as the North Sentinelese. Okay, North Sentinelese, they are not so much hostile as the North Sentinelese. North Sentinelese are somewhat tribes, like if you go near their shore, they hit arrows and they will hit with poisonous arrows and you will be gone.
তাহলে তো ওদের ওখানে ভিভিপ্যাট মেশিনও পাঠাতে হবে, and someone has to train them with the VVPAT.
Yeah, there has to be something.
And one more thing, এখানে একটা বড় স্যাম্পলেতে আমি কাকে ভোট দিলাম সেটা তো জানতে পারবে না। 16 জনের স্যাম্পলে তো ইট ইজ অবভিয়াস তুমি কাকে ভোট দিচ্ছ, তো তোমার তো কোনো মানে তোমার ভোটের যে স্যাংটিটি, যে প্রাইভেসি ইস্যুটা, ওটাই তো রইল।
সেটা থাকবে না অবশ্যই, ওদেরকে তো মানে they are just treated as toys, just to engage them that আমরা কিছু করতে পেরেছি, আমরা কি করতে পেরেছি বিজেপি গভর্নমেন্ট। I'm not going to politicize something, but the thing is that I'm trying to engage them into the electoral process. That is my goal. Not only that, আমি বললাম এর আগে সম্পেক্সরাও এসেছিল, গ্রেট আন্দামানিজরা এসেছিল, তো এরা এসে ইলেকশন প্রসেসে এনগেজমেন্ট দিয়েছে আর ভোট দিয়েছে। And one more thing, there are various NGOs that are working with them and they are highlighting the soft skill developments among them, and they are given also opportunities to work with various workshops. আর আমার অপরচুনিটি এটাও ছিল যে আমি কিছু ওখান থেকে মানে সোভেনিয়ার্স নিয়ে আসতে পেরেছি। Any more questions from the house, please?
আচ্ছা শুনো না, এসআইআর কি ডকুমেন্টস দিল? আমার তো পাসপোর্ট
এটা হচ্ছে এটা অ্যাবরিজিনাল, তো বুঝতে হবে
যারা বাঙালি গেছে তাদের ব্যাপার আলাদা।
আচ্ছা, এটা হচ্ছে অ্যাবরিজিনাল, যারা ফার্স্ট টাইম ভোটার্স, ওদের নামটা নথিভুক্ত করার জন্য
ও তো
আমাদের প্রচুর বাঙালি আছে।
না, ও তো ট্রাইবদের কথা বলছে।
আগে আমাদের কথা বলছি।
ওরা রিফিউজিস আছে।
আছে
Generally কি হয় যে 90% of the not 90, 80% of the people living in Andaman are Bengali. They are refugee people from Bangladesh. Generally কি হয়েছিল, যখন ওখানে পাঠানো হয়েছিল ওদেরকে বলেছিল যাও ওখানে জঙ্গল আছে, যদি থাকতে চাও গাছ ফাছ কেটে তোমরা থাকো, and it's very beautiful. One must visit Andaman and Nicobar Island. I had the opportunity to visit twice and it's very beautiful.
কি বিউটিফুল আগের জায়গাটা
Nah, I mean, even now, and I must say, I had the opportunity to visit.
জায়গাটা টোটাল 5 লাইন আছে
তুই যা, তোর সাথে আমরা পরে কথা বলবো।
Thank you so much.
পরে হবে যাও বছর
Now, I request Dr. Shravani Das to please present her paper. Ma'am, please come.
থ্যাংক ইউ। আমি খুব ছোটর ওপর ব্যাপারটা যাই। বিকেল 5টা বাজে, সবাই মোটামুটি ক্লান্ত। তো আমি ছোটর ওপর যে জায়গাটা করতে চেয়েছিল, যেটা মানে মেন আমার সেটাই যাই। বিষয়টা হচ্ছে the title of the research paper, as you can see, revisiting the importance of book media in community development through the lens of McBride and analytical observation. So, as a student of communication, I tried to finish this area from the communication point of view. Next slide, please.
মাইক্রোফোনটা নিয়ে নিন
না, আমার গলাটা ঠিক করে দেখো।
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ ভিডিও অন করুন
আমি এটা কমপ্লিট করে দিই। So the agenda, কি কেন আমার মানে what makes me think that this could be a paper, কেন কি কারণে? So the agenda is to understand the global communication recommendation for local communication need. Actually কি আমাদের গ্লোবালি ছিল, sorry please. So the agenda is, with the first agenda of the researcher is to revisit the journey of communication from global to local communication need. And the second agenda, or the background you can say, whether folk media is able to establish an alternative communication paradigm in the post-liberal society where organizational media system in its peak situation. This was my agenda. Next slide please. না, এটা তো রিসার্চ, সুতরাং যতই ছোট করে বলবো বলি, একটা মেথোডোলজি, একটা সিস্টেমেটিক জার্নি তো অবশ্যই থাকবে। তো what are my objectives? To look back how the folklore performances in India are disseminating the developmental message for community development. The second objective is to analyze the report of McBride Commission in this regard. And the third one is to explore how these folk forms represent different ethnic cultures of the society. Actually, this is the revisiting, when I am doing this research from the revisiting aspect. So, the research approach, this research study has taken the shelter of inductive approach. Next, the research, the research philosophy is interpretivism and the research methodology is observational method. Next slide please. So there are three key aspects in my headline. তিনটে বিষয় আমি ডিফাইন করে নিয়ে একটু, the McBride Commission report, development communication and folk media, এই তিনটেকেই আমি অ্যাকচুয়ালি একসাথে করতে চেয়েছি, কিন্তু সেটা কতটা কি সেই জায়গাটা একটু এক্সপ্লেন করা দরকার। নেক্সট স্লাইড প্লিজ। McBride কমিশনের রিপোর্ট কি বলছে? Many voices one word. This report was published in the year of 1980. সেখানে চারটে জিনিস, মানে আরো অনেকগুলো রেকমেন্ডেশন ছিল যেগুলো আমার folk মিডিয়াকে একটু হাইলাইট করবে, আমি সেই পয়েন্টগুলোকে একটু এনেছি। Commission acknowledged the diverse traditions, patterns of social system, economics and cultural life, needs and possibilities. This diversity is valuable and should be respected. There is no place for the universal application of preconceived model. কোনো একটা মডেল, কোনো একটা থিওরি দ্বারা আমি পুরো সোসাইটিকে চেঞ্জ করতে পারবো, এইটা একদমই না। সকাল থেকেও যে কথাটা বারবার আসছিল যে আমাদের গ্রাসরুট লেভেল বা কমিউনিকেশন, যাদের জন্য কমিউনিকেশন, যাদের ডেভেলপমেন্ট, they have to participate, they have to make participate, কিভাবে করবে, কেন করবে, এই কথাটা কিন্তু McBride কমিশনও তাদের রিপোর্টে বলেছিল। এবং এছাড়া আরো যেগুলো বলেছিল, ডেভেলপিং কান্ট্রিজ নিড টু রিডিউস देयर ডিপেন্ডেন্সি, দ্যাট মিন্স সেলফ রিলায়েন্সের উপর জোর দেওয়া হচ্ছে, নিজেই নিজের ওই আত্মনির্ভর হও তাহলে তোমার কিছু হতে পারে। বা এই থার্ড যে জায়গাটা হাইলাইট করেছিল, ডেমোক্রাটাইজেশন অফ কমিউনিকেশন অ্যাট ন্যাশনাল অ্যান্ড ইন্টারন্যাশনাল লেভেল, যেখানে ওরা আরো কয়েকটা জিনিস বলেছিল যে রাইট টু স্পিক, রিসিভ এন্ড ইম্পোর্ট ইনফরমেশন ইজ আ ফান্ডামেন্টাল হিউম্যান রাইট। Number 4, social participation in decision making level. এই জায়গাটা গেল হচ্ছে আমার ম্যাকব্রাইট কমিশন। নেক্সট স্লাইড প্লিজ। সেকেন্ড, যখন খুব স্বাভাবিকভাবে কমিউনিটি ডেভেলপমেন্টের কথা আমরা বলছি, ডেভেলপমেন্ট কমিউনিকেশন আসবে, এবং ডেভেলপমেন্ট কমিউনিকেশন আলোচনা করতে গেলে দুটো বিষয় খুব ভীষণ গুরুত্বপূর্ণ। একটা, আমাদের যে কমিউনিকেশন আমরা প্রথম থেকে করছি, যে কমিউনিকেশন যে অ্যাপ্রোচ, তার ফার্স্ট একটা অ্যাপ্রোচ হচ্ছে টপ ডাউন অ্যাপ্রোচ, যাদের জন্য ডেভেলপমেন্ট, যে কথাটা আমি প্রথমেই বললাম। আমি যদি আফটার ইন্ডিপেন্ডেন্স ধরি, সেই সময় যে মডার্নাইজেশন থিওরি বা যে প্যারাডাইমকে আমরা ডমিনেন্ট প্যারাডাইম নামে চিনি, সেখানে কমিউনিকেশন অ্যাপ্রোচটা কিন্তু ছিল টপ ডাউন অ্যাপ্রোচ। ডিসিশন মেকিং লেভেলে সমস্ত কিছু ঠিক হচ্ছে, সেই ইনফরমেশন পাঠিয়ে দেওয়া হচ্ছে নিচে। কিন্তু যাদের জন্য ডেভেলপমেন্ট, যাদেরকে ইনক্লুড করা কথা, তারা কি বলছে সেটাকে খুব ভীষণ গুরুত্ব দেওয়া হয়নি। এবং তাই জন্যই এখানে আরো বিষয়টা এসেছে যে কমিউনিটি ডেভেলপমেন্ট প্রজেক্ট সিডিপি কিন্তু লঞ্চ হয়েছে ভারতে অনেক আগে, মানে জাস্ট ইন্ডিপেন্ডেন্সের পরপরই অনেকগুলো প্রজেক্ট এই সময় লঞ্চ করেছিল, কিন্তু কোনোটাই খুব ভীষণ সফল হতে পারেনি। কারণ খুব স্বাভাবিকভাবেই যাদের জন্য এই বললাম ডেভেলপমেন্ট ছিল, তাদেরকে পার্টিসিপেট করানো হয়নি। তো তার জন্য পার্টিসিপেশন বেসড কমিউনিকেশন অ্যাপ্রোচ একটা দরকার ছিল। যারা কি মনে করে, তাদের মধ্যে অন্যতম ইম্পর্টেন্ট স্কলার ওয়াজ পল পেরি। এরা মনে করতেন যে কালচারে, মানে কমিউনিকেশন অ্যাজ অ্যান ইনসেপারেবল ফ্রম কালচার, তোমার কালচারটাকে বুঝতে হবে, এবং যেখানে ইন্টারপার্সোনাল এবং স্মল গ্রুপ কমিউনিকেশন স্ট্র্যাটেজিকে বেশি গুরুত্ব দিতে হবে। নেক্সট স্লাইড। এবার আমরা যখন ফোক মিডিয়ায় আসছি, এই জায়গাটাও একটু আমার জানার, আজকে আমি অনেকগুলো জায়গা জানলাম, ম্যাডামরাও যদি একটু আমি ভুলে চেঞ্জ করে। প্রথম কথা হচ্ছে ফোক মিডিয়া নিয়ে আমরা যখন আলোচনা করছি, অ্যাকচুয়ালি ফোক মিডিয়া বলে কথাটা খুব ভীষণ ঠিক কিনা লাইফ ক্যান্সেল করতে হবে। অ্যাকচুয়ালি ফোক ফর্ম আছে, যে ফর্মগুলোর মধ্যে দিয়ে কমিউনিকেশন যেটা হচ্ছে, তার জন্য আমরা ওখানে ফোক মিডিয়া বলছি। তো সেইটাই যখন যদি আমি যেতে চাই, বেসিক্যালি আমার কাজটা হচ্ছে পারফরম্যান্স ফোকলোর নিয়ে, মানে যেগুলোকে নিয়ে আমি পরে আলোচনা করব। ফোক মানে কি? ফোক মানে যে